We don't walk away until it works. Why? Because we know exactly what it takes to make it work. This isn't some kind of marketing promise or sales pitch. It's purely a matter of and a real true view of our level of experience and how we can come together to help you reach a very certain, very specific goal. And today we're going to talk a little bit about that. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 40 books and counting. Over the course of the last 40 years in business, I've had the wonderful privilege of helping multi-billionaires to single moms, Fortune 500 companies to brand new startup companies, people on every end of the spectrum, whether they be doctors, lawyers, nurses, startup companies, daycare centers, and of course, one of the things that I'm the most privileged to get to help is so many of our veterans that have been in both collaboration books as well as other books that we have, worked on and other marketing programs that we've worked on. We really truly are here to help you be visible and valuable, not as some kind of a marketing slogan, not as some kind of catch all kind of a situation, but really just to be able to tell you exactly this is how things work and then give you specific results that are going to move you to the specific outcome that you need. In point of fact, I'm also blessed because I've spent so many years in business, but especially in the marketing field, that I have a virtual Rolodex of people ranging all the way from extremely high-end technical people who can write levels of code that go beyond things that have to be government level bulletproof and ultra secure, all the way to people who are in another country and have much lower economic need to be able to survive and sustain in their country, that can do little projects for you on the economic need of somebody who's living, whether that be Nigeria or India or the Philippines or places in all of the African continent or South America. It's a matter of taking the time and vetting the people. And the thing about it is, and I tell this, I get hit up all the time by people who are like, I've got this service and, I'd like to, present it to you so that we can talk to all of the people. Of course, they want to be able to talk to all 5,000 of the people that I've worked with. And I always tell them, very, very first thing is you need to work with me. You need to show me that it really works, not just tell me, but actually show me it actually truly, really working. And the people that, that I really partner with, not just that I can be like, oh, yeah, you need somebody that can do some really basic, go high level stuff. There's a couple of folks from a couple of different countries that I can recommend to you. And I can tell you, you're legitimately looking at low end kind of things. And I'll tell you, high level is a perfect example of that because I've had many incidences where I've worked with companies who it wasn't that they didn't know their stuff, but they didn't necessarily have that flow and strategy understanding. And so they could do the technical end of it, but they didn't understand the how and the why. And I won't refer those people to you because they're not going to do any good, because you need somebody who really understands the hows and the whys. When I put together an event like our event, Real Visibility, that's July 29, 30, and 31st in the beautiful Dove Mountain Resort just outside of Tucson, Arizona, thrivingbestsellers.com/event. You can check that out. It is now up and available for you to purchase tickets from. And we're beginning to slowly fill in the speakers. I've got 3 or 4 more that need to be added on to the page. that I'm just waiting for their headshots or their bios or those kind of things. We do those. I bring in specifically very heavily vetted people that really know their stuff. And the number one piece of that is, can you explain why? Not just how, not just what, especially not just what, but why. Why does it work? If you don't understand the intricacies of it to the level that you can say, this is what to do, this is how to do it, but this is why it works for you. That's why we can, have the guarantees. And all of our products are guaranteed. Most of them are money back guarantees. A few of them, because of the actual cost of them, and some of them are because of partnering that I do. Some of them are because of the activities that I have to pay for. And a lot of the contractors that work with me, they're moms or single moms even, and they're using it to feed their kids. And so if I have them do a bunch of work for you, though I will stand behind, I will guarantee it, I will move you to another, say, for example, editor or things like that. If you're not getting what you need, I can't really give you your money back in those instances because I'm not going to take the money away from those people who are feeding their kids. Sometimes things match, sometimes they don't. Those are more of relational kind of issues than they really are that the people are not doing the job. And we've created all of those because we know how the system works. We know why it works. We know exactly what to do. And you bring me an incident when it comes to especially book marketing, really marketing in general, but especially book marketing. I can tell you exactly why it's working, what isn't working, what you need to change, and what the process needs to be. And I will be the very first person to tell you that has to be ongoing. And I know this from experience, both because I've worked with so many people, but also because I've proven it out in my own stuff. You see, I have, 40 books of my own, as I mentioned. And for the most part, I wrote them really because I'm a deeply, highly creative person. And it was just an expression of my creativity. And about once or twice a year, I would give them away for free. I made them all bestsellers because that's what I do. But then after that, they pretty well just sat there. And other than using them as the perfect, if you will, playground for somebody who wants to prove to me that their new whiz-bangy thing is the greatest thing since sliced bread and the thing that my people want. Other than that, I hadn't done a whole lot with them. We started applying some of the things that we've done for, more than 20 years now for helping people, especially when you start talking about reviews. I started using my own books. Willie and I we did a campaign just before, right at the beginning of November. I was going to say just before Thanksgiving, but it was a little earlier in the month. Floor Magnetized Media. And we dropped enough reviews into that using our system so that it now, really has a pretty solidified ranking. Haven't done really anything with it since then. When I looked at it the other day, it was at about a number 11 in its main category. And we've done the same with Willie's Never Stop Winning 2.0. We've done it with his songs. Willie has his, if you were listening live yesterday, his third song has come out, and it will, be hitting, bestseller for sure, and probably number one on the pop charts again. The pop charts, the chart of all charts, the king of all kings as far as music charts go. And sure, it could have ranked in hip hop or gospel or soul or those kind of things and really, really rock the house with that. But to make it in the pop charts is such a huge kind of a situation. And that's, again, us doing the things that we do for other people and show it. At the same time, we, you've seen all the books that have come out and made it to bestseller, and there's more coming. You've seen us working, the reviews with people and the impact that those reviews have made. And I've shown you that several times. Um, we're doing all of that. And, simultaneously in the music industry, we've worked with a couple of artists, one of which made it all the way to number one on the international, radio spins chart. Now, there's a difference between spins and sales. You don't really make a whole lot of money from you getting airplay, but your song needs to get the airplay in order for people to want to go to the store and buy that single. It's the way that industry works, and we understand it. We do it. We've gotten people on TV shows in a bunch of media all over the place, sharing who they are and what they do. Because if we sell you something as basic as a press release, I'm going to tell you up front, it's going to go out to tens of thousands. It's going to go out across the whole entire AP wire. But what I'm going to give you back is like a top 200 list of the 200 main places that it definitely, showed at in that first, pretty much basically first day, second day, somewhere in that range. Doesn't mean that it isn't going out all over the world, literally. Just means that's the list that's provided to me. And, and I just take that list and can share it with you if you want to see it. And that's where we come back around to reviews. The heart and soul and core of your book is your reviews. Okay? You need to have the reviews. You need to have consistently people reviewing and saying amazing and great stuff about your book. Because if you don't have that happening consistently, you're not going to have, number one, and most importantly, you're not going to have the exposure that your book deserves, that the exposure that your book can bring. And rather than talking about it, rather than just saying, yeah, this is absolutely what we can do, I've actually just, really taken my Only the Beginning, bestsellers Only the Beginning book. And I am consistently, just like I tell you to do, ongoingly doing, especially the reviews. There's a couple other campaigns that I suggest to you. It's the same core of what I call my tier one, my human visibility program. Absolutely the very exact same one that I'm going to suggest to you. And we do that because we know what you need. We know that you absolutely need to have that visibility. And so I'm doing it to show you absolutely what that is. I wanted to bring it up here. I'm sharing my screen with you for just a second. Only the Beginning. Okay. We're currently at 67 reviews. We have a whole bunch more of them coming. But here's what I wanted to show you. The book, once again, is number one in 2 categories and number 2 in the 3rd category. And we keep putting it back onto that bestseller list. In case you're wondering, because some of you know, I also do and very strongly suggest the, using the free day marketing programs that Amazon makes available for ebooks. And I've frozen here, so it's not moving. There we go. You can see that this is the ebook, which is currently, I reduced the price down to 99 cents. I did it on purpose, but it's in books for sale. Okay. And this is people purchasing the book. And we're doing that all the time on purpose because we want you to not just hear me spewing about it. We want to prove it to you. We guarantee what we do. We guarantee it not so that we can brag about having a guarantee. We do it so that you can know we're willing to back up what we do, so that you can know that we're here with you. We're going to stay. We're going to make the adjustments. We know how to make the adjustments so that your book will have momentum and that we're here to help protect your momentum. We don't want you to have to worry or wonder or, go to like a Facebook or an Amazon ad and spend $500 and hope that you've gotten things right so that you get sales. But rather, we want to show you exactly what it takes. and work you through the process. And I'm here to even be real and tell you the truth that really honestly, the marketing aspect of your book, that is something that is a ongoing long process that when you do it long enough, it then begins to really, really bear fruit. And that's what we want for you. That's what you need. That's what's going to make all of the difference in everything that you're doing. And that's why we guarantee it. Because we want you to know in the end, you're not betting, you're partnering with us. We're here to help you out. I'm so grateful for getting a chance to be with you every day. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about authors not just deciding, but when they decide, they win. And I look forward to meeting you here again tomorrow to talk about that. Till we're together again next time, I hope you have a great week.